Welcome. I'm Tim Ogden, president of the BBS Foundation and father of a 16-year-old with BBS. I want to welcome you to the 2022 virtual BBS conference. Many of you will be gathering in person in the next days and weeks in Dallas, in Philadelphia, in Chicago, and in Charlotte. I'm so pleased that despite the challenges between COVID and travel costs and other disruptions, that so many people, more than 150, are going to be able to gather in person for the first time since 2018. But I'm also very pleased that we can provide this video virtual conference for those who can't get to one of the regional meetings and for BBS families from other countries. It's a really exciting time for the BBS community. As I'm sure many of you know, the first treatment for a major BBS symptom, excessive hunger and weight gain, was approved by the FDA a few weeks ago, IMCIVREE from Rhythm Pharmaceutical. When I think back 16 years ago when my son Nathaniel was born, and we were still just in the early stages of identifying BBS genes, it's amazing that we've reached this point, an actual treatment specifically for people with BBS. Over the next couple of hours, you're going to hear exciting updates about BBS research from scientists and doctors all over the world who are continuing to make progress in the fight to ensure that all families affected by BBS have access to effective care and treatment. But before we kick that off, I want to give everyone an overview of what's been happening at the BBS Foundation over the last 4 years. It's 4 years since we were last able to get together in Salt Lake City, and to take a look at what we have planned for the near future. To do that, I think it's important to talk about and remember the history of what was originally the BBS Family Association. The BBS Family Association began with a group of individuals who met at Foundation Fighting Blindness conferences in the 90s, grouped in with other rare causes of blindness. A few visionary parents decided to form a group solely focused on BBS and put together the first BBS conference held in Houston. That was also around the time the first BBS genes were identified. Fast forward to 2012. That's when I was first elected as president of the Family Association with the goal of taking the next step, turning the Family Association into a registered nonprofit so they could really start fundraising and investing in a better future for all families affected by BBS. The BBS Foundation was officially recognized as a nonprofit in 2014. Our first major fundraiser came shortly thereafter, called Bring Light to BBS. And that spurred others on so that we now have events like the Rocky Ride, One Shining Moment, and an annual turkey trot in Arizona. Just this week, we had another new fundraiser in Wisconsin. Since 2014, the foundation has raised over $750,000 to improve care and treatment for people affected by BBS. How have we invested that money? First and foremost, we've been able to build CRIBS, the clinical registry investigating BBS, in partnership with Dr. Bob Hawes in the Marshfield Clinic. Since its beginning in 2014, CRIBS has been a vital tool for advancing care and treatment for BBS. It was crucial for Rhythm's investment in IMCIVREE for BBS, and it will continue to be important in the future. There are now more than 600 people registered in CRIBS, and shortly we'll hear another video from Dr. Jeremy Pomeroy about the important insights we're gaining from this tool. We were also able to invest in gene therapy research at the University of Iowa back in 2018, research that has produced very promising results since then. And again, we'll be hearing more about that later in the broadcast. And importantly, because of the funds we had raised, we were able to make an emergency grant at the start of the pandemic to keep that research going when so many projects like that all over the world were having to be shut down. Even though we've accomplished a lot over the years, the foundation has had some significant limitations. First and foremost, we've been an all-volunteer organization. In addition to being BBS parents, which you all know is a big job in and of itself, everyone involved with the foundation also has a real job. That means we've had to fit the work of the foundation in between our other commitments. The foundation also hasn't had important infrastructure and technology to keep track of our families and our efforts so that we can be able to do even more. After our last in-person conference, the BBS Foundation Board made some important decisions to enable us to get more done faster. We hired our first part-time staff, Alexis Jones, who many of you have communicated with over the last couple of years. Alexis was instrumental in revamping our website and putting together last year's virtual conference series. Alexis has been out on maternity leave since May, but she'll be joining us in the fall. This past spring, Alexis also led us a project to implement Salesforce, software that will help us better keep track of and help our families in the BBS community. Over the next few months, you're going to hear from someone from the foundation as we try to add more and better information about members of the community so that we can serve everyone better. We want to be able to connect people with others who have the same questions, challenges, interests, and needs. We want to help families find the best and most knowledgeable doctors and service providers. And to do that, we need a better technology infrastructure. and we need more information about our families and community members. We've also added 2 new members to the board, Dave Pothier and Tara Claussen. You can see more about them and the other members of the board on our website. But now we're looking forward again. That starts with these regional conferences where we can get together again and build relationships again. There's been tremendous progress over the last few years, but we want to do so much more. One important step recently has been linking up with the BBS organizations from the UK, France, the Netherlands, and Italy. And we formed BBS International so we can better coordinate our efforts around the world. That work led to the very first BBS Global Day last September, and we're planning to take BBS Global Day to the next level this fall. You'll be hearing more about that after our regional conferences. I'm also very excited to announce that we've agreed on a multi-year grant from Rhythm, specifically to invest in reaching and better connecting BBS families in the United States, Canada, and around the world. The grant will allow us to hire some additional part-time staff to improve our outreach and responsiveness. It's been allowing us to host our regional conferences this year and this video virtual conference. It will allow us to invest more in our infrastructure so we can do even more in the future. There's a lot to look forward to, and I'm so excited about what we're going to be able to do over the next few years to advance research, improve care and therapy, and connect the BBS community so we can improve the lives of all people affected by BBS together. Now, let's get to the rest of the virtual conference. As I mentioned, you're going to hear from some of the leading BBS researchers from around the world. Dr. Erica Davis is going to talk about how BBS research is done. Dr. Max Natchery and Dr. Helen May Samara are going to share updates on the important research they're doing in their labs in California and in Germany, respectively. Dr. Ying Su is going to update us on the BBS10 gene therapy research at the University of Iowa. And Dr. Arlene Drack, who has led that work, is going to tell us about some new research happening there. Dr. Jeremy Pomeroy is going to give an update on cribs and all that we're learning. And Rhythm is going to share details about IMCIVRE and the next steps for any BBS individuals who would like to learn more about that therapy. Finally, if you're watching this video and aren't connected to the Foundation, please reach out by going to bardaybeetle.org and clicking to Stay Connected, or reach out by sending an email to contact@bardaybeetle.org. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you find the rest of our virtual conference videos informative and inspiring.